Who's ready for B Squared movie night?
I'm ready, bro.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, man. This thing just popped into existence.
I heard a popping noise.
I did
So
too.
weird. What's going on? What is this thing?
I've never seen something like this.
Huh.
Weird.
That's weird. What is this stuff? Yeah, some sort of marble. A little scroll like
Could
that.
be a gift or something.
I wish I were you.
That's weird.
Something's happening!
What's happening? What's
You're me. What is happening?
You're me. What's going on here?
You're me.
This doesn't make sense, dude.
If spoken holding the magic marble, you will body swap with the first person you see. What the fuck? Why did they put that first?
I don't know, bro. You blew it. You freaking blew it.
I just read what was on the paper. Wait, what's the book all about? Bro, you gotta look at the book.
I'm gonna look at the book. Hopefully it'll give us some idea of how to fix this, you know what I mean? I'm gonna turn right to page 1, okay? It says Chapter 1, How to Reverse Your Body Swap.
What? Chapter 1?
Chapter 1. And
What's
it
on the
says-
next page?
The next page it says to travel to the Dabo mountain range in China to find the amulet of renewal. And it keeps going, bro. It keeps going. It's
How are we gonna get to China? We can barely pay rent.
I don't know, bro.
This isn't like those 80s movies.
I know, man. I don't know what to do.
It's always so easy in those movies.
But you know what? The more I think about it, you know, you're a lot like me. I'm a lot like you. We don't have girlfriends.
You're right.
We don't have lives.
We don't have responsibilities.
No responsibilities. We play video games.
No one's gonna know on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right.
We can just switch places and no one will ever know. You take your room,
I'll take.
but
Whatever.
you know which room is yours.
Let's just get
I'm
back
going
to
to my room and playing games.
F it, me too.
Screw this, that's too hard.
It's too much. Too much work. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Beilman's Corner.
Today, we're
Yeah.
gonna be talking about body swapping.
Body swap movies.
Yeah.
All between the year 1987 and 1989. That's
Yeah.
the only time they
Yeah.
had these movies.
And apparently...
It seems like. I'm sure there's more of them. Because Freaky Friday.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
there
early,
is
but-
a huge list of them.
A huge list.
As you see up behind us, there's 6
Yeah.
movies that came out between 87 and 89 that fall under the umbrella of body swap.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Big.
No, that's not a body swap. That's a body transformation movie.
Thank you. And we aren't going to talk about Chances Are.
That's just straight up reincarnation. Not body swaps. XX.
Yeah.
Out of the picture.
Out of the picture.
So we're left with 4
movies.
real body swap,
Body swap
movies.
And we ain't talking Freaky Friday. We're talking 87 to 89 when we grew up.
89.
Our era. When
There were
there-
4.
There were 4.
Not 3, 4.
And I'm sure someone might point out there were other ones that I have no clue about.
Oh yeah, like I said, there's also a huge list if you go to Wiki
Yeah. You can
and
find-
look up body swap movies.
Yeah,
And literally, I started scrolling through it, and it took about 3 minutes
Yes.
to get to the bottom of the page, scrolling on my wheel mouse.
So we limited it to the ones that we probably all remember as 80s kids, 90s kids,
Yeah.
and above, because they're
Yeah.
always on TV, or they were. There is no real TV anymore.
Yeah.
But you got yourself Vice Versa. You got yourself 18 Again with George Burns. You got
Like Father, Like Son.
Father Like Son.
That one's a classic.
one of
because
Kirk Cameron's last
Cameron's-
bloody non-religious movies.
Yeah.
And then there's the Jason Robards one with Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Dream a Little Dream,
A Little
of
Dream.
Me.
Yeah. Which there was a sequel to, sadly, which we'll touch
No,
up on,
no,
but just
no,
a
no,
little
sequel.
bit. Not really.
So yeah, during this period of time,
Yeah, yeah.
apparently America was obsessed about either becoming young again
Uh-huh.
or the youngins becoming old.
And it makes sense.
And so they have these body swap movies.
Yeah, you had a lot of aging rock stars in their 40s, but still famous. So it seemed like the 80s was a perfect time for that.
It hit the niche market at the time.
Yeah. And I don't know, most of them did not do well.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about
Let's do that.
18 again. Let's talk about, we have 2 good ones and 2 bad ones.
Yeah.
Do
you
really
want to do the good ones first?
Let's do the good. Let's do 1 good, 1 bad first.
Okay. I like that.
Let's do 18 again, because that was probably my favorite out of the movies. Not when I was growing up. Vice versa was my favorite.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But okay.
Nice film, Mr. Seymour.
The mall scene. And then, but 18 again was great because it was actually decent. It was touching. George Burns gets replaced.
Yeah, it's actually fun. Okay, it's a little dated.
It's definitely.
Because George Burns' humor
an
is
80s
straight
movie all
up
the way, yep.
like him being
Sexist,
sexist and like a little abrasive.
I'm good at.
And honestly, his humor in this movie is toned down.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to his stand-up, if you feel
yeah.
he's more.
I don't think many people in our audience has probably heard his
George
stand-up. George Burns' stand-up.
I haven't even heard
him and his
much,
wife
but
were
I
really
remember
famous back in the
hearing
day.
his joking and stuff.
He is funny. He's a great stand-up comedian. If you do go watch his stuff.
And I can't remember the kid's name.
His wife
from
was
the
funny,
movie
too.
that plays his
I don't remember his
nephew
name.
or grandson. It's
But
his
out of all
grandson.
the actors in these 4 movies, he's probably the best actor. Like
Yeah, he does a good job of being like
George Burns.
George Burns.
Like if he were in an 18-year-old body. And obviously the kid was like in his 20s, and everybody in this movie is in their 20s who's supposed to be. Oh no, it's the first year of college actually. So they do
some
say
are
in
college,
yep.
some the bad choice in these body swap movies where you're going from an old guy into a younger body.
Yeah.
Don't make the younger person high school age, because then it just becomes the creep factor.
It becomes
around.
creep factor. You're right, because at least the old geezers hitting on people of age. Nah, it doesn't sound good even if I say
Charlie
it,
Schlatter was the kid's name.
Okay, Charlie Schlatter, and he didn't have much of a movie career after. I think he played Ferris Bueller in the series. That was the big thing I read after.
Oh wait, yeah, I think you're right about that one.
But he was a decent actor. He might have done producing after, and I think he did well for himself after. He's still alive, so that's good. That's a plus.
And it's a decent movie.
It's a good movie.
It's lighthearted.
It's
I want to say it's great.
No. I mean, when I say it's a good movie with emphasis, I mean it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like it's a movie you
Well
can
acted.
throw on.
Yeah.
Probably watch with your mother.
One of the best parts is the bad guy. It's got
Or
an
father.
80s bad guy in it. That's your stereotypical awesome
Oh yeah,
blonde-haired.
he was probably the best part of the comedic relief.
Yeah. And they actually have like
outside of George Burns.
And they have like a South Park track meet at the end instead of the skiing. You know, the episode where they do the skiing with the 80s joggers. Like,
So it's a very traditional 80s movie.
He's in it, and that guy is awesome. Whoever that actor is, I forget his name, but the 80s,
Charlie Schlatter. Oh, I don't know, the bully guy.
The bully guy's name is awesome in it.
I don't
and he's
know,
hysterical.
but that bully.
He gets his comeuppance, and so it's your typical 80s movie.
And honestly, if you took the perspective of the bully and turned it into a movie,
Yeah.
it would literally be this guy
tragedy.
just
A very
like
depressing-
ruining their life. Like the guy's an asshole, no doubt.
No doubt. But
But-
this Charlie Schlatter guy, as George Burns,
His life
ruins
just
his
destroys
life.
this guy. Like he crumbles this guy.
Yeah, and
But of course, in the end, as in any great 80s movie, he earns the respect of the bully.
Yeah, and he earns the respect. Actually, George Burns impresses his girlfriend left and right.
Yeah.
So really, the kid gets this girl attracted to him by being George Burns, and when he gets knocked out of it, this girl is still there waiting for his open arms.
Yeah, so
And
the
he's like,
means
what?
of
This hot
body.
girl's mine?
Let's talk about the means of body transfer.
Yeah, it's a good
Transfer.
point. Yeah. In this
And in
one,
this one,
yeah.
he ends up in a coma, right?
Yeah.
George Burns.
George Burns ends up in a coma, so it's
And
really just the kid
It's a
as
birthday
George
wish.
Burns. Yeah.
Apparently, the birthday wish of George Burns being 81. I think in the movie.
Gee, I wish I could be 18 again.
Yeah, and he
does
sings
this
a little song.
It's
that's
touching
cute.
song.
It is touching and kind of depressing.
Kind of depressing, and they synthesize
Makes
it up
you-
in the credits, which is awesome.
Really makes you ponder mortality.
Yeah, it really does. When you're watching it, it really does. Like
The song is really like
at the end,
it's depressing in
it
some
was
respect.
depressing, and I could see now that I'm getting older. I'm halfway to 80 something.
Halfway to 90.
When the credits hit, George Burns started singing that song again. I was like, "This is such a..." Until the synthesizers came in, I was like, "Oh, this is horrible." Like, what?
Well, that's how the body swap happened.
Yeah. So
then on the ride home from the birthday party,
they get into a car accident, magic car accident.
Yeah.
They do the Thelma and Louise. They grab each other's hands, and boom.
The crash.
Yeah.
George Burns, coma. Young kid now acting like George Burns, and he is George Burns.
And at the end, they repeat it, except the kid's bringing George Burns' almost dead body through the hospital.
So they decide to pull the plug on George Burns at the end.
So that George Burns, within the kid's body, is about to lose his nephew, who's in his
real body.
His real body, or his grandson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, his grandson's trapped in a coma
in George Burns' body,
apparently.
So, but he crashes into the chapel at the hospital. So there's a God connotation, 80s America, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so...
It had to end in a church, of course.
It had to end.
Because this is divine intervention.
Yeah. So they switch places again, and the movie ends. But it's very touching. Once again, I'd give that one probably the best rating.
Yeah, I think it's...
And there's not much
it's
to
a
talk
close...
about. It's your stereotype.
I would say Well, let's move on to a bad one.
Yes,
Vice versa would be my next choice as a decent movie.
As a decent one, but let's move on to the bad one.
What would you put this on the scale of, like, 1 to 10, let's say? We'll go with the 1 to 10 scale,
I would give this one...
Or do you want to do letter grades?
Let's do the 1 through 10, because we did that last time, and I'm not big on ratings, but this one is at least a 7.5 for me.
Oh, really? I wouldn't go that high, cause I'd say, like, a 7. I'd give it a 7.
I'm kind of putting it within the context of these 4 movies.
Yo, in that case, then it's like an 8.
Of the body swap movies. Yeah.
It's like an 8.
As far as it being a good movie and stuff, I'd probably say a 6, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's an entertaining 80s movie.
Probably was on all the time.
That, you know what? It would be perfect for like a Mother's Day movie.
Yep.
Or like a Father's Day movie. Something to do with your parents, because it's not offensive.
That's a good suggestion.
It's not going to be like an 80s action movie.
Yeah.
But it's a cute little movie.
Yeah. We should do...
Let's save Feldman for the last.
Okay, we'll save Feldman for the last.
Because Feldman he's his own thing.
Yeah. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with...
We got Cameron. We got Kirk Cameron and like Court Cameron.
Dudley Moore.
Yeah. This is our Dudley Moore's second appearance on Beilman's Corner.
That's right.
As if you remember our 1985 Christmas classic, We Almost Became Gods.
He had a bad movie career, didn't he?
He had in the 80s, it did not go well.
Especially in America when he came. Well, he had Arthur. Arthur was a huge hit.
And I think after that, though, it was like
after that
shows bomb after bomb.
It was because Arthur 2 was a bomb. I can't think of a decent movie he was in after that, really. And I'm sure
not only that, Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron.
Yep.
Our father, Dudley Moore is the father of Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, and he's like...
that bad casting. Dudley Moore looks nothing like Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, he's British.
Whereas opposed in the other movie, with George Burns and the George Schlatter.
Charlie Schlatter.
Schlatter,
they fit. They really fit together.
Like, they look like his young self. That's young George Burns.
Well.
He acts like him. But anyways.
Not so much.
No.
And I don't have much to say to this movie because it was like your stereotype 80s movie.
It's a tough watch to get through, to be honest.
It is.
I had a tough time getting through it because it was just
well written,
not well acted, not well written.
And what's his name? Dudley Moore doesn't seem like Kirk Cameron was in the beginning of the movie. Like, he doesn't act the teenager well. Like the Kirk
very
Cameron
much felt like a quick
2 different parts.
Quick. I've got to do one of these body swap movies.
Yeah, they're huge. They're lucrative. Come on.
Maybe they had Cameron on contract or something, but whatever it was, it was a bad movie. It's not good. It's funny because as a kid, I watched it a ton.
I didn't.
And
this was my first
Showtime.
I know it was on all the time, but this was my first time.
This was actually this movie and vice versa were probably the body swap movies I watched most, like on Showtime or HBO, whatever we had as children.
Yeah, I know Vice Versa was on all the time. Yeah.
Oh my God, Vice Versa was pumped into the HBO constantly or whatever it was, Showtime, whatever it may have been.
And this one's awkward too because it's again Dudley Moore within Kirk Cameron's body hitting on chicks or just being like, "Whoa, man, bodacious," all the '80s things.
Yeah, it doesn't have a concrete feel like. It's purpose. There's no purpose besides that goof Dudley Moore to mug at the camera.
Yes, he plays more so just a mugging teenager than Kirk Cam. Like the other movies do a decent job.
You know what's kind of odd?
The actors switching places and being characters.
Kirk Cameron does an excellent job of having a stick up his ass while playing the adult.
Yes.
But
You're right.
As time has revealed,
he is that person.
that is just who he is.
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably was by that point. Maybe,
Yeah,
because I know even on the Growing
I'm sure
Pains
Growing
set,
Pains was going to his head.
Yeah, with all the
because I think this one was 89.
Was it?
If I'm not mistaken, I'll
It was near the
double check.
end. I know
put
it was at
correction
the
if
end
I'm wrong.
of this era.
But I'm pretty sure it was 89.
Yeah.
So it was very much feels like a cash grab. Hey, let's do what everybody else is doing.
And how many times did we find ourselves looking at each other embarrassed?
Oh my god!
You know?
I don't think I laughed.
It wasn't quite as bad as Dream a Little Dream. That's why I left Dream a Little Room.
Yeah,
for
that's
later.
gonna be the cherry on the top for the bad movies.
Because
Damn,
that
was that a bad
movie
movie?
within itself was almost two movies in one. Because you got the old people and young people. But let's stick to this one. This one wasn't great.
No, it's a pass. It's a hard pass.
Hard pass.
Like, unless you're a big
Follows the
fan
tropes.
of Kirk Cameron or Dudley Moore.
Well, Dudley Moore's awesome. I'll give you that.
They need to get every piece of their library
Stick to Dudley
absorbed.
Moore's early British stuff.
Yeah, just
You'll
avoid
laugh
it.
more.
You know,
Um,
avoid this one. Like Father, like Son isn't worth your time.
the other good one, quote unquote.
I give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, this one I'd give I don't know about a 3 out of 10. That's harsh. I would give it, because it was watchable.
Seriously?
No, you're right. I give it a 5 out of 10.
All right.
In the context of these movies.
I think you're kind of on movies.
I am kind of on this one.
This is at least for the body swap situation.
At least you can sit through this movie and laugh at it, kind of.
It's the type of movie you could just have on the back room while you're vacuuming your house,
Yeah.
and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You just glance at the TV, and you don't need to have the sound on even.
No.
You'll just get what's going on.
It's not as bad as a hate watch. I think Dream a Little Dream is...
It does worse than a bad movie because it's a boring movie. To be honest.
It's boring. You're right. And Dream a Little Dream, on the other hand, is not boring in that sense. You could watch it. It's a train wreck.
Yes.
But it's like a no-holds-barred train wreck where you're enjoying it, kind of, because
Yeah.
it's Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. So you're right on that respect, but I'd still give it a 5, because I sat through it.
Okay.
5 out of 10 isn't great.
That's
anyway.
understandable.
So let's move on to the next good one, quote-unquote, which is Vice Versa.
Oh yeah, vice versa.
But I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, it has a nostalgic place in my heart, so I have
Definitely.
bias for it.
Yeah, and when I watched it now, like probably 15 years since I've seen it again, I was probably like in my early 20s last time I saw it. It wasn't as good. You know,
No,
I
it's
thought
not
it was
as
gonna
good.
be great
Like as a
again.
kid, I loved it,
Or fun to watch again, at least.
and I watched it probably 24 times as a kid. 'cause
Oh, me
it was-
too.
It was one of the heavily repeated.
And the mall scene was hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
To me.
That was the best part,
Hot
actually.
Licks.
Even today,
I
that was
know.
yeah.
That dude is awesome and hysterical.
Hot Licks, Mr. Whatever his name is. I can't remember what his name is.
Like, nice drum fill,
Oh,
Mr.
nice
Kowalski,
film.
or whatever his name
Yeah.
is. That was
So
hysterical.
there's some parts that give you a good chuckle.
Good chuckle.
You know, but it does not hold on. Like as
And
a
they're
kid, I found it
likable.
humorous from start to finish.
I wouldn't say Fred Savage was so much likable in the role, but what's his name? Judge Reinhold is
No,
hilarious.
this is
It's
another
kinda funny.
Kirk
He's
Cameron
good.
kind of situation with Fred Savage,
I think
because
so.
he does an excellent job
Oh,
of
kind
playing
of.
a prick too.
Yeah, playing freak adult.
Just Google, is Fred Savage a nice guy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
In real
you'll
life.
see.
He wasn't very
Yeah,
nice
not
behind
a lot
the
of
scenes.
people,
As an adult
just-
and as a kid, he was kind of a
Yeah.
terror, apparently.
Yeah, look at Complaints of Boy Meets World set.
Yes. Oh, well, that's his brother. Dude.
Oh wait, that was but
They
wasn't
were
it-
both
I thought
bad
Fred
news.
Savage did something on the production.
Oh, maybe
of
he
it.
did. Maybe he did. I don't know.
So maybe I'm wrong about that, but nonetheless, neither of him or his brother
There's
have good
plenty of
reputation on
stories
back
of bad behavior from
being
both
nice
of them.
people at least.
Yeah. Because even, I could go into it with Fred Savage's brother, like, even the people on Boy Meets World were like, he wasn't a nice guy. That's Fred Savage's
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
But Fred Savage himself, you have hairdressers and stuff coming out of the woodwork from when he
Just
was a kid.
yeah.
Man. Like, he
Oh
was
my God,
a terror.
And I mean, a
holy
lot
terror.
of that's sad, but that happens to a lot of these childhood actors.
Probably.
who
It was
end up-
sad for me to hear because Fred Savage, as a kid, with the Wonder Years and whatnot, he seemed more of a serious kind of like, oh man, he's actually good.
Yeah,
as
like a good actor.
So it kind of hurt a little more hearing he was such kind of a little bastard.
prick, yeah.
But
he's a good actor.
Good actor.
I'll give him that.
We'll give him
Not
that.
gonna
for
knock his
sure.
acting.
No. And in this, they do fine, and the movie's fine. It's
Yeah.
just fine.
It's
That's
just a
kinda-
fine movie.
yeah.
That's
So,
this
like-
one's better. I think it's right on the same level, kind of as not chances are. What's the?
Like, not
It's
much.
on the same level as the other good one we just talked about.
Yeah.
18 again.
18.
I don't know why I have. That's the hard. For some reason, out of all these movies, I have
here.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
and they're all
So-
like pretty much the same. So it's
Yeah.
like hard to remember which
Yeah.
one's which. And but it's
So Vice Versa has a couple quality moments in it,
it's funny in parts,
and it
good
adopts the
acting,
typical like, oh,
and there is a bit of Judge Reinhold also just playing the kind of cool dude 80s
Yeah.
guy, but he's good at
Judge
it.
Reinhold does a great job being young.
Yeah.
And Fred Savage does a great job of being a curmudgeon.
A curmudgeon old prick, yeah.
Oh, and that's what the joy of these body swap movies is, to see how the people, the actors are like kind of portraying the opposite end of their age.
So how much out of 10 would you give this one?
Oh, I think this one's like a 6.
I do too. I'm
I give
thinking
it a
5,
6.
6, 7 so far for me. I've got
Yeah,
like the
6,
steps
6
going.
out of 10 for me on this one.
But the
And it's a tad of nostalgia
Yeah.
that bumps it up probably from a 5.5 is what it really deserves, or a 5.5.
you're right, and it does all depend on what you watched as a kid or
Yeah.
what you grew up with.
But it's easy. This one, you're not going to have trouble getting it. You won't be bored. It's a quick
Nope.
hour and a half.
Quick hour and a half,
In and out.
in and out. You're like, it's got a caper story. They're like, oh, and then there's the
Which brings us to our next one, which was not a quick
Yeah,
movie.
not-
It was a punishment
Yeah.
to watch.
But it's almost the one I most want to talk about.
Yes.
Is Dream a Little Dream.
Yeah, because it's so bad, it's almost good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
almost enters so bad, it good.
It really
Almost.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd qualify.
Almost.
That's so good.
It got us to watch the sequel to it right after. That's how good it was.
He's kind of right about that. We did watch the sequel to
It
this
was
one.
bad. They're both bad. But this one was
They got a
really
sequel
bad.
in like '93, like 6 years later, which.
Oh no, that one was even worse. Believe it or not. Well, yeah.
So Dream a Little Dream
uh-huh.
is bad for multiple reasons. A, they do a bad job of explaining what the body swap is.
Yeah,
Like,
something to do
vice
with
versa,
yoga.
there's a totem.
Yeah.
A birthday wish that is a divine intervention.
Or not yoga, Tai Chi.
In the other one.
Yeah. You have Jason Robards and his wife, played by Piper Laurie, doing Tai Chi. in
Yeah,
their
which is
backyard.
weird because Jason Robards and Piper Laurie do a great job.
Yep.
And you
It's
watch,
like two movies almost.
yeah, you watch their scenes and you're
They're
like,
together, they're cute, they're well acted.
this
and
is
they're like
okay.
an old couple.
These people are
yeah.
doing a good job with what they have.
wanting to find youth again, yeah. But then when the movie takes a huge tumble when they change places, it's like you've lost. Then you don't have that anymore going on.
It's not as, it's like
It's just a bad movie from that.
Corey Feldman.
And Corey.
They force feed you this Michael Jackson dance, like,
Yeah,
which
I know.
he's still peddling today.
What's up with the style? He likes.
He literally is still doing the same dance.
And we noticed that, yeah.
We watched him on stage on one of these, like, I think it was
Recently?
Yeah, recently,
Yeah,
like
he's on tour with,
2022 or
like, Fred Durst.
2023 maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe even this year. Could have been this year,
He's
2025.
performing Ascension Millennium and shit, doing the Michael Jackson shit. And we realized, she's still doing the same dances he was doing
Same
40
day,
years
like,
ago.
he hasn't learned any new dance moves.
No, he's still doing
Then
the
in
Michael Jackson. He's in
1988 or
Arrested
whatever
Development.
this was made, yeah.
But you know his whole backstory, so you know the molestation and stuff. So you could kind of
There's
see
a lot
where
of
he
dark
being
shit in
molested.
Corey Feldman's life.
But he was in
for sure.
Arrested Development when he was 18. That dude was like dancing like Michael Jackson in this movie.
Yeah,
it's
a
really
bad,
weird-
like, it has no direction.
It doesn't have
like-
any direction. When he's wooing the girl, he starts dancing
The
like Michael
body
Jackson.
swap happens.
Yeah.
And he's not the only one that gets body swap. What's so weird
Yeah.
is they try to imply to make it less creepy.
Yeah.
Because that's the only explanation I can come up with why they did this.
Uh-huh.
But apparently Piper Laurie gets body swapped with a hot chick. Like, I don't know the
Who's
name of
his
it.
girlfriend, or the
who's
girl.
Corey Feldman's in love
Interest,
with.
yeah.
And, she's got the cool boyfriend or whatever. Like, she's the popular girl and he's like the creepo
It's so
dude.
nonsensical.
The
Like,
creep-
they
the
happen to
weird
be
dude.
doing Tai Chi, the two old people.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman and the girl.
Collide.
Collide.
He's running home and she's on her bike.
Bike, yep.
And they foreshadow that the kids in the town used his backyard as a cut through.
Let's take a second, too, to talk about the soundtrack. Because during this scene, Van Morrison, one of his songs off Astral Weeks is being played. And it's like, this is the most...
The soundtrack does not fit any of
It
the
does
stuff.
not fit at all. It's one of the most...
They spun a
Beloved
wheel
Van
of what they
Morrison
had
songs,
in their
yeah.
library of whatever the company did this.
Yeah.
And they just...
It was really weird. The
Yeah, they
soundtrack.
just
A bunch
randomly
of
picked songs that don't
60s
fit.
songs,
that don't fit. That I don't even know if Jason
Even
Robards-
Dream a Little Dream of Me doesn't make a
a
sense.
little bit of sense with Jason Robards and Piper Laurie there.
I guess
That would
they're
make a little more
dreaming,
sense
yeah.
than the '60s like stuff.
So they collide on the bike.
Probably '50s. in his '50s already.
The love interest and Corey Feldman collide on a bike and a running, and
That's where
during the yoga session or whatever the heck they were doing.
like Tai Chi. They're doing
Yeah,
slows.
and apparently he's like they kind of hint that Jason Robards has been studying some transcendental
That's right. Yeah.
meditation stuff. So that's how they explain it, but it's horrible because the second they collide
Yeah.
and the body transfer happen, Piper Laurie and Jason Robards vanish,
Yeah.
like literally vanish out of the movie.
That's
And not only do they vanish out of the movie,
It
that's
hurts.
the excuse in the movie is that they disappear. And the only time you see Jason Robards and Piper Laurie again, unfortunately, is in a few couple dream sequences.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
It's all
It's Feldman, baby.
It's a Corey Haim and Feldman romp, like
Yeah.
one of their old movies. They're
and
still
Corey
trying to
Haim
bring
isn't
it-
even in it much.
He's not, but he's
Like,
his
he's
best
there
buddy
in the
movie.
background.
Yeah, he's the one not getting the chick or anything. He's kind of they make him out to be kind of like the dork of
The
group,
goofy,
the goofy
kid, but
kid.
Feldman's already playing the goofy kid, so it doesn't make sense really.
Not to mention, and their drug history. They're probably high off their asses on like
Yeah, it just-
cocaine and shit.
The movie just is a schlock.
It's a
And honestly, the odd thing is that when we did say we watched the
Schlock, I like
sequel,
yeah. We watched
the sequel was easier to get through.
It was easier to get someone because it was also so bad, and he does another Michael Jackson dance
He does, yeah.
in the sequel
Yeah.
to the girl from Karate Kid
And
3.
the sequel kind of plays on the body swap. There's a pair of glasses that allow you to control a person.
I don't even want
Well,
to
we
talk
don't even
about
want
that.
that.
It's terrible.
But
It's all
yeah,
terrible.
This movie, I'm gonna go as low as a 1 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You are brutal.
I'm brutal to this because it was bad. It took 2 hours. That's another thing. The one time, unlike these other 3 movies,
Yeah,
which respect their audience,
Heart
respect their audience. This is how bad the movie was.
Yeah.
How much they respect their audience by giving you an hour and a half like runtime, maybe an hour 40 minutes top.
That's true. Yeah.
This was like a 2-hour movie.
Oh, it was brutal.
It
We
was
got
like-
through it, but by the end of it, we're just like, there was nothing that we giggled at, except we did giggle at the course.
Like we should file suit for Feldman and try to get our 2 hours of life.
It was mostly jaw to the floor, like embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's
So there's the
very
cringe
embarrassing.
humor
So
that we all love so much, and that's you could watch.
So
it.
yeah, this is down trip down nostalgia lane. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what did you want? What do you give this movie?
I would give it I was thinking a 3. Yeah, a 3. A 3's
three,
low
okay.
enough, and it was like I give it 3 points because you can sit there and make fun of it.
All right, I'm gonna move it to a 2 out of 10 just because 1 point for
Yeah.
Piper Laurie and 1 point for Jason Robards.
There you
Because
go.
those two do
A decent job, even
they
though.
do good with their parts.
Yeah.
And the only parts I actually didn't mind watching were the parts with those two in it when no one else was around.
And
Because they actually seem to have chemistry on screen.
yeah, they definitely did.
You know?
And it
So
seemed
that's
they
like
were-
the only redeeming part of the movie to me.
And they're good
Piper
actors.
Laurie and Jason Robards.
Whereas Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were not
Haim.
great actors. Like,
And the
by
girl
this point,
too,
we
who
thought
was
they would have,
absolutely drop dead
in the
gorgeous,
50 movies, yeah.
but like not a high school student.
No.
Had
they're
no
not high
chance of
school.
being a high. That's another thing. The casting was like, why make it high school? Go with college.
Yeah, it's much better. It makes more sense, especially years later when you're
And that's
watching
why,
it.
like, chances are it's
Just
pretty
see.
good. Is like actually that's one of the
With
ones
Robert
that is.
Downey
It's a
Jr.
reincarnation
Meryl-
movie.
Not Meryl
But-
what's her name?
They make it appropriate because now he's in college. It's a college. You know, like they don't make it. It gets creepy. The second
It
you
still
put
does with the college,
bomb-
but it gets so creepy
you
when
put
it's high
like
school. Yeah.
Jason Robards, 65 to 70-year-old, in a kid body with this young other, supposedly both under 18
And I think in editing they
or
noticed.
just 18.
Yeah, they were probably like, "This is
And
so
yeah,
creepy.
because
we gotta
honestly-
make his wife be the other girl."
Yeah,
And
honestly,
his
like they
daughter.
barely touch on that, and I
Yeah.
think the only reason they stick that in there is to make it not creepy,
Mm-hmm.
because Jason Robards inside the young body is convinced it's his wife because she's disappeared too, and that's the only way of it. It's stupid. It's a dumb movie.
It's bad. It's dumb.
Don't
Dumb
watch
is a
it.
good word for it.
Don't
and
watch it. It's a
simple
dumb
word for
movie
it.
unless you're a big fan of the two Corys and need to
Yeah.
get them
Well, I am, but
every
that's, you know,
facet, but it's not even worth it. Even
It's
if that.
not even worth
So-
it. And, you know,
So yeah. So for some reason, Yeah, we'll try to wrap this up here.
Yeah.
So that's our advice on these movies.
They're all
There's
not.
two good ones
Yep.
that are acceptable and like entertaining.
And when we say good, we mean they're like
yeah, they're entertaining.
acceptable, they're entertaining.
They're
None
nothing
of them
special.
are-
They're not going to drop you on the floor and
Citizen
make you be
Kane,
like,
of
oh my
course.
god,
This is great. Yeah.
well, this is my new favorite movie. That's
And
not
I-
going to happen.
Yeah, and I thought that this isn't even the impetus of those movies. I mean, you have Freaky Friday in the '60s doing this crap, so
Yeah, it
it's
seems like a late showing for all. Like,
it's weird it came back. Like it
yeah,
came
like
for
the
these
fad
2
for
years.
like 2 years. Yeah, it was like 2 years Hollywood, but that happens a lot with Hollywood. Like they get something up their butt and they think, hey, this is the theme that we're gonna go with, and then like every studio's releasing a movie like that.
In '80s, cokehead OCDness was in full effect. So
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
they just kept repeating the same thing. Money.
So,
They need
anyways,
that money.
that's the '80s body swap genre.
Yeah.
Not having any not real body swap movies in it, but these 4 movies: Dream a Little Dream,
Oh, God,
Like Father,
make us-
Like Son,
Yes, make us say them again.
18 Again,
18 again.
and geez, why'd we choose 4 movies,
I
man?
know it, right? We'll just have
18 Again,
that.
Like Father, Like Son, Vice Versa. 18 Again? Did I say that again?
Yeah, you said that.
Shit, what's the other one, man?
Not chances.
God, this is the last four video we ever do.
Yeah, right. Seriously, I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap this up. I
Yeah.
can't remember the last.
All right, nice seeing you guys again. We'll see you next time on Beilman's Corner. I don't know what we're coming next, but there's stuff coming.
Yeah, we'll keep it simple.
All right, have a nice one. Enjoy.
Adios.
Peace out.